Do you know what to do when somebody wrongs you? We're going to find out together in today's Bible story. It was one of those sweltering hot days in the desert. You know, the kind where the sun beats down and every step you take is like walking on hot coals. Nehemiah and his friends were on their way back to the city of Judah after a long trip. They had walked all the way from the city of Babylon. And let me tell you, they were exhausted. Their journey had been long and tiring and they just wanted to get home. But here's the thing, they weren't walking through some peaceful countryside. No sir, the road they had to take went right through Samaria, an area controlled by their sworn enemies, the Samaritans. Now, if you've ever heard of the animosity between the Jews and the Samaritans, you know that this was no ordinary walk in the park. It was a dangerous trek, like navigating a minefield, and guess who knew this very well? An evil man named Sanballat. He was the governor of Samaria and he had a personal vendetta against Nehemiah. So while Nehemiah and his friends were making their way through Samaria, Sanballat sent his men to ambush them, hoping to get Nehemiah and his friends away from the group. When Nehemiah's group realized they were being followed, they did what seemed like the most natural thing in the world. They ran for cover and hid in a cave nearby. They stayed put, hoping to avoid any trouble. Now, fast forward a bit. After a few hours, Nehemiah and his crew decided to make a move, thinking the coast was clear. But guess who they bumped into? Yep, you guessed it, Sanballat and his goons. He and his men had been waiting for them in the open field near the cave. Here's what happened next. Sanballat started needling them, trying to get under their skin. He said, "Are you the guy we're looking for? Are you Nehemiah?" Nehemiah wasn't about to give him the satisfaction of knowing how he felt or what he was thinking, so he didn't say a word, he just played it cool. Then Sanballat dropped a little truth bomb. He said, "We know you're a Jew, and we all know the kind of hatred your people have for us. And we all know that you came here with evil intentions, wanting to take over this city." Wow, I mean, talk about putting on a good act. Sanballat was really selling his lies, trying to paint Nehemiah as some evil conqueror. But Nehemiah didn't rise to the bait. He kept his cool. Remember, friends, never give an angry person the satisfaction of seeing you lose your temper. It's like pouring fuel on a fire, just makes things worse. And then something interesting happened. One of the guys with Nehemiah stepped up and traded some insults with Sanballat. He called Sanballat a Samaritan, which was basically a death sentence back in those days. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. But Nehemiah stopped him right there. He understood that getting into a physical fight would not only be a waste of time, but could also put his mission in jeopardy. What was he trying to accomplish in Samaria anyway? Getting into a fist fight over insults? It wasn't worth it, so here's what he did. Nehemiah turned to the people following him, which included some big wigs like the high priest and the nobles, and said, "The God of heaven, he's the one you all should fear. He'll do what is best for me and make sure my enemies end up at my feet." Talk about a powerful statement. After that, Nehemiah and his gang made a clean break from that tense situation. They continued their journey back to Judah without any more hitches. Now, why is this story important for us today? Well, let's think about it. When faced with anger, it's easy to get sucked into the emotional whirlwind and give in to the urge to retaliate. But Nehemiah didn't do that. He chose to stay calm and keep his cool. And you know what? It paid off. Friends, in situations where someone tries to provoke you into a reaction, remember Nehemiah's wisdom. Stay composed and don't give in to the urge to respond. In the heat of the moment, take a moment to pause, breathe, and don't say or do anything you might regret later.